We got Mike Korzemba. Why did LiAngelo Ball fail? I don't want to say he fell. He just didn't make it to the NBA.
LeVar Ball said he does not think his
At least not yet.
LiAngelo will
If it's gonna happen.
the NBA.
Let's keep it real. Told him that. I said two of y'all gonna make it, one of y'all not. That's how I feel. One of y'all ain't gonna make it. Now it's only down to two.
Back in 2017,
He said that?
LeVar Ball made headlines when the media claimed he did not believe that his middle son, LiAngelo, would make the NBA. Fast forward to 6 years later, and Angelo has not only failed to play a single minute in the league, but recently things have gotten
He played a preseason game.
even worse. Normally, when you post a video in which you bench press 400 pounds, people support you.
420, baby. Oh, he's got it. He got it. Ah, 430.
Stop giving this joke a platform. Another workout clip, another comment. Boy looking like he just did 5 years. What in the disrespect? Where did this hate come from? Well,
He has the best shooting form out of all of them, though.
League last season, LiAngelo seemingly played his way out of the NBA, averaging
How?
just 2.3 points per game on 25% shooting in 3 regular season
What? He didn't start though. He only played. Well, how many points? You ain't played 12 minutes.
games, and he currently stands with no NBA contract, which means we have to ask the question, how did LeVar know? How did LiAngelo Ball go from one of the most famous and loved young players in the basketball scene to both the only Ball brother to not make the NBA and someone the fans have turned on? Well, what's up guys, Mike here, and my question to you is, did LeVar really mean what he said, or was he instead trying to motivate his middle son? The LeVar Ball we know believes in his kids more than anyone, and he also believes in good old-fashioned
That's why he played in college.
Work hard and you will be successful. It worked for Lonzo and LaMelo, both sons who ended up as top 3 NBA draft picks, and both sons who had their mind on the same goal as LeVar. The NBA was the dream. LeVar's dream was always 3 NBA
Yeah, he played with the Pistons too, and Pistons braved him. Look at him now. What they do?
And 247 Sports back in August of 2015 does list LiAngelo as a top 80 recruit in the nation. Lonzo, his older brother, was a top 5 recruit. He was seen as a superstar headed to UCLA. LiAngelo was seen as something different, because by the end of his senior season, despite the fact that he had averaged over 33 points per game, Jello had dropped into the 150.
He dropped 147. What? He dropped 154 points in the game? 180?
In recruit ranking.
This man dropping 200 points in the
he went
game.
to UCLA with a chip on his shoulder, and at this point in time, people
Dang.
still really believed in him, with good reason. In a video titled LiAngelo Ball Shows Off His New Moves, posted before his UCLA season began, it was clear that Jello was on a mission. The Jello we saw in this video was down in weight. His ball handling was improved. His quickness was improved. It was clear he was on a mission to make the NBA, to join his brothers where he belonged. Enter a national disaster. But before we continue, guys, I am very excited to thank
Max.
Here's one thing you need to do before buying anything online.
Mike, he's sponsored by Online Shop. I know he's shop there.
Amazon until you watch the
preseason trip to China with the UCLA Bruins. LiAngelo Ball, along with 2 other teammates, were arrested by the Chinese police for shoplifting. After watching how horrible the Brittany Griner situation was, this headline seems almost made up. LiAngelo Ball, UCLA players arrested, Chinese jail time ahead. At this point, it was reported Jello faced
Number 15.
10 years in Chinese prison. After this disaster was averted and LiAngelo and his 2 teammates were freed and allowed back into the country, UCLA now wanted to suspend LiAngelo for the rest of the season, and so him and LeVar came to a decision. They were going to quit school and join a pro team in Lithuania. In his only game with UCLA, Jello scored 11 points against a D2 team, and at the time of his suspension, he was coming off the bench with no real hope of starting, at least at that moment. But people really believed in UCLA Jello. He was supposed to earn his role there and then grow as a player. When we watched him in high school, we knew that he had his flaws, but we also knew that potential and that relentless drive on the court was right there. Most importantly though, I will say, during his time at UCLA, for the first time, LiAngelo was on his own. Lonzo left LeVar and was a first-team All-American at UCLA. LaMelo left LeVar and became a top 3 draft pick after dominating at Spire. Jello left LeVar, but within months after a national scandal was back with his dad. And nothing would get better for him on this new path. Life is hard, but the toughest obstacles always bring the greatest chances for success. You grow through pain. You need to face the best to be the best, but it is here where LeVar
light too bright.
LaMelo's career
It feel like Jared Allen right now. The lights are brighter than expected. Dang.
own hands end went off the rails. After turning both Jello and LaMelo pro and finding them a spot on a pro-Lithuanian team, LeVar was reportedly a menace overseas as he openly questioned.
We called him a menace overseas.
With 2 games left in the season, saying, "We're not going to waste our time no more," as well as, quote, "I just didn't get along with the coach." That's not a quote from LiAngelo, who was on the team. That's a quote from LeVar. A pretty weird time to make everything about yourself, and a horrible example to set for your children overseas, of course. Only at this point in time, the public perception was that both Melo and Jello were more a circus basketball act, while Lonzo was the serious star. When he was playing for Chino Hills, LaMelo Ball was seen as a 5-star overall recruit as a freshman. But after this stint in Lithuania, he was off of recruiting boards completely. It was actually Melo who was benched in a big game that led to LeVar losing it and having his sons quit on the team with 2 games left, which meant we had a wasted season in Lithuania for both Jello and Melo. But we have to remember here,
I don't remember seeing this in the Ball in the Family on Facebook. Remember they had their own show on Facebook?
He is 3 years older than LaMelo. And so after Lithuania, LeVar Ball did what any father would do. He created an entire basketball league that was missing just enough talent to allow his own sons to be the stars. Thus, the JBA, the Junior Basketball Association, was born, with LaMelo Ball as the first pick of the league his dad created. To put how bad the competition was here into perspective, LiAngelo scored 58 points with 11 rebounds and 6 assists in the last game of the finals, where his dad handed him both a finals trophy and a finals MVP trophy. The weirdest of storylines. And this actually reveals a darker side to this entire story in general, as during the Ball brothers' run to fame, there were players whose careers
They won a free championship.
Things such as the JBA being created. The JBA was
What happened now? Bro, what happens? Is that still going on?
Used by players such as Brandon Phillips of only paying their players 1/3 of what they were promised.
In the first season, we paying players. That makes us a professional league. We're above that.
Yeah, okay.
We're not letting you play for free.
On top of this, players such as Brandon Phillips gave up their college eligibility as LeVar sold them on the JBA.
But one thing LeVar did do was the NBA stole his idea with the G League Ignite, bro. LeVar Ball came up with that first, I believe.
The JBA would fold after one very unmemorable year.
With the G League Ignite.
All of the players LeVar sold,
He came up with the idea first, in my opinion, I think.
In the pro scene against seemingly
And the NBA just took it.
Shout out to all of you all watching.
Dang!
Hey, that's my bad, I guess. Get the ball. Stop being a What you gonna do? What you gonna do, huh?
Go hit him, bro. I don't care that's your coach. Bro, I'm not gonna do this for my starting. I'm not getting a bitch for my starting spot, bro. Fight him back. He just called you a bitch.
Where at Spire, he became a 5-star recruit. An older Jello.
Because you want to get PT, bro. It's bigger than this now. It's not even about basketball anymore. Dude's up there hitting you.
Already officially turned pro.
I don't care who you are.
Tough reality as a pro player with
Uh.
a team. I would say this would prove to be Jello's ultimate.
You know, put me on the bench, bro. I put you back in the locker room. You don't even gotta see the court.
LaMelo became stars. They took their own
coach us from the locker room.
Jello never stopped trying. He was in the G League just last season, and it's definitely a fair point that Jello doesn't have the natural height or quickness that his brothers have. But it's more than that. Playing with his brothers, Jello thrived in his role. Score the ball, be a knockdown shooter.
That's
At
it.
the NBA level, we know there's no margin of error. But after playing on semi-all-star type game rosters, after being yanked from real team systems at UCLA and Lithuania, Jello struggled to improve his game within a team system in the NBA, and he repeatedly failed to make a roster. First came Oklahoma City, then came Detroit. In neither situation did he earn a single preseason minute. But then,
He did with the Swarm. Yeah, he played with the Hornets.
To 2021, and we saw a true glimpse at what could be. As in his first game of the 2021 Summer League, with the Hornets, Jello would connect on 5 threes in only 16 minutes of court time. He was signed to the Hornets G League team, where in game 1, he again stepped up, dropping 22 points as we all cheered. Jello was back, but he wasn't. As overall, in the long term, Jello failed to ever gain one of basketball's most important traits, consistency. I give Jello all the credit in the world. It takes a real man to swallow your pride and play off the bench in the G League while your younger brother is
consistency is hard though. Yeah, I think Russell Westbrook even said it. Yeah, it'd be hard being consistent.
Organization. I respect Jello so much for that. The man is chasing his dream. He's always showed up. He's always tried on the court. Off of it though, the numbers just don't lie. In the G League, Jello's role was to make shots, and we know one thing in basketball to be certain: there is always a spot on a roster for a shooter, but there's no room for a shooter who just makes 36% of his threes. Yes, in 22 regular season games in the 2022 regular season, LiAngelo was given a real shot, but he only shot 36% from three, and his true shooting percentage was just 53.2%. In 2022 in the NBA, Joel Embiid shot 37% from three and made 1.4 3-pointers a night. If you're not shooting better than Joel Embiid from three in the G League, it's going to be hard to justify a roster spot for you. However, I will say, at the time of this video, Jello is just 25 years old still, and I want to believe. In 2016, after years of failing to earn an NBA contract, 25-year-old Seth Curry shocked the league, and suddenly Steph's little brother was a rotation player, and from there he's become a real offensive weapon on playoff teams. That is because Seth Curry never stopped working. He never gave up on his dream. I hope LiAngelo Ball does the same. So
I think LiAngelo, yeah, you need to get some play some defense, bro, and just move without the ball like Curry.
you for watching.
And I'll probably work on your finishing. Cause that's what Seth Curry did. The only reason why Steph Curry had a hard time getting to the NBA because he can't play no defense. What do you do?
I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you are new to the channel, make sure to
But
subscribe.
he ain't failed though. I didn't say you know. Don't say you failed.
That way you never miss a video. Let's get some love going for LiAngelo in the comments. Again, I'm hoping for a comeback. If you're already subscribed,
He just not in the NBA. That don't mean you a failure, bro.
Thank you so much for supporting.
Because he didn't make the NBA.
Awesome. We all know.
Or not in the NBA.
Have an awesome day and cue that music. If you're still here while the music.
Debut, Mike.